Hello ladies and gentlemen, Vicky here with the UntitledGameShow.com, back once again with more video game news, reaction, and discussion from me. As some of you guys know, I like doing a little series called 1 Minute of Gaming that happens Monday through Friday, where I go over video game news highlights in 1 minute. Well, today's October 25th, 2014, Saturday, and I think it's about time we start doing a little new series where I go over all the news in one big chunk for anybody out there who want to get it in one big shot just once a week. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go over the video game news highlights for the past week all at one time. Let's start it off with Resident Evil franchise. So 7 days ago, ladies and gentlemen, it was announced that the Resident Evil franchise was getting a TV series. There's no defined date on when the TV series is going to be released, but we're probably going to be looking at a 2015 release for that TV series, and I'm definitely willing to check it out, as I am a big fan of zombie TV shows like Walking Dead, Z Nation, and well, Resident Evil is a franchise I've loved since I've liked the second game when I was playing as 8 years old. Yeah, guys, I probably shouldn't have been playing Resident Evil at 8 years old, but I wasn't anyways. Moving on, guys. Oddworld New and Tasty was exclusively released for the PlayStation 4 earlier this year. Well, it turns out the game will be coming out to Xbox 360, Xbox One, PlayStation 3, Vita, PC, Mac, and Linux, and for Wii U owners this year. It's currently said to be decided 2014 window. There's no defined release date, but New and Tasty, if you guys have never played the original Oddworld game, is basically a remastered version of the game, up to res a little bit so you guys can see it a lot better. I definitely do think you should check out this game, at least check out a YouTube video or a live stream of this game, because Oddworld is definitely a franchise like no other. Next up, guys, you might have heard Destiny did get a patch earlier this week. It did address a bunch of different stuff, but the major thing that it did address was some bugs in Destiny's Vault of Glass raid. Basically, no more you'd be able to bug the boss off the ledge with grenades or stuff like that. Alright, guys, so Destiny did get itself a patch. Moving on, guys, let's talk about some CEOs moving on to a whole new dimension. Well, let's start off first with, well, my lady herself, Jade Raymond. She departs from Ubisoft. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the woman that's been in charge of so many big franchises at the Ubisoft Toronto studio. Well, she's moving on from the Watch Dogs. I mean, she has credits in Watch Dogs, Splinter Cell Blacklist, and I think she even did stuff for Assassin's Creed back in the day, but she's moving on to her own new ventures. Another CEO who's actually taken up a new position is the former CEO of EA. John Riccitiello is now the CEO of Unity. So this was a big, I think, step down for him personally, just saying for myself. He went from EA to Unity. Not saying nothing's wrong with Unity, but of course the man needs to pay his bills, so he probably wanted to go get a job. Except for he's probably pretty rich anyways. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, this is another interesting story I thought. I actually read through this, and I'll have a link for you guys if you want to read it yourself. UK is actually considered quadrupling prison terms for internet trolls. So basically, right now the terms for internet trolls are people who cause mayhem and actual problems to society, not just jokes. Like, trolling's a very weird word these days, guys. Some people take trolling as just making fun and having a little prank at somebody, but some people have taken trolling to mean a lot more worse things. So anyways, the UK's might be considering actually having more penalties for trolls that actually cause real big problems. Alright, guys, just be careful out there, guys. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, the Xbox One is going to get a big update in November. That's going to allow us to add background themes, so that's going to be pretty cool right there. So change your background to something you personally like. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, that PlayStation 4 update is also coming along. That's going to do just about the same thing, as well as is going to add the new share play functionality, which is going to allow you to send your friend a version of the game to play. You either could, it's basically borrowing the game from your friend, but digitally. So basically, let's explain how it's going to work, guys. If you guys don't know how share play works, is you create a party. Let's say it's going to be me and you. We're in a party, and I could actually share my game with you instantly, so you could try a part of the game and see if you like the game. You get an hour to play the game, and if once the hour is up, you can actually play for another hour. Also, guys, we can actually do multiplayer for a game that has multiplayer even if you don't own the game. I'm guessing this technology is leveraging Sony's new technology for Gaikai. So this is probably 100% using the Gaikai service. So I'm definitely glad to see SharePlay coming in the PlayStation 4 2.0 update that's coming out October 28th, along with the themes, USB music, and a bunch of other updates for the platform. So both Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 are getting big updates to their system. Alright, guys, let's moving on to something more about games once again, guys. Hyrule Warrior Link figure for Amiibo is actually gonna work together. So as you guys know, Hyrule Warriors didn't have a specific Amiibo figure, but Smash Brothers for the Wii U is getting a Link figure, and that figure is actually going to be able to link up with Hyrule Warrior to do something. Unfortunately, Nintendo hasn't given us any specific details of what this figure is going to do yet, but I'm definitely willing to wait and see what this figure is going to be able to do in Hyrule Warriors. Alright guys, because I do have Hyrule Warriors for the Wii U. I'm not planning on buying any Amiibo figurines, but if they do something cool, I'm definitely willing to check it out. Alright guys, next up, let's talk about some Titanfall update that happened basically 3 days ago. It was announced that Titanfall is getting a huge update, and I did update my copy of Titanfall. It was over 3 gigabytes this update, ladies and gentlemen, so do know you need to have some hard drive space on your system. This update actually did add a few things like cooperative play, so now you have a co-op mode to the game modes, and you also have a ranked play, so you could do ranked playlists, or you could do a cooperative mode up to for 2 teams of 4. So basically you're going to be fighting against AI bots, which is perfectly fine because not everybody likes competitive play. So I think it's actually a nice little addition to the game. Next up, a big week with Smash Brothers fan, as we found out so much news about Smash Brothers Wii U. But specifically, guys, I think the biggest news of the week was the fact that Smash Brothers on Wii U is going to have local 8-way fights. Like literally, guys, 8 players fighting on one console. So this is going to be a little special though, guys. There's only going to be a specific stage that will allow us to play with 8 people. Obviously, I'm guessing that Final Destination is not going to be one of those stages because 8 people on Final Destination will probably be one of the most hectic things ever. But you know there's going to probably be modders out there probably going to make it their own specific stages. Because I would love to fight 8 people on the flat stage because that really would be crazy. But the way it's going to actually work to set up this 8-player fighting is going to need 2 GameCube adapters. And once you have both GameCube adapters and a Wii gamepad, well, basically you could do 4 players on each controller for the GameCube and then use a gamepad just to navigate the menus. That's even how it's going to work right now. I haven't seen any specific reports saying that you could use like a gamepad, what's it called again? The Wii U classic controller, because I'm not sure how many of those are connected to the Wii U. But still, I think this is awesome news because I've had situations where somebody's playing Smash Brothers and we have to pass the controls around. Usually I never have 8 people, but it's usually around 6 or 7 people. And it'd be nice to be able to set up to like, hey, 6 of us could play together. We don't have to actually keep on trading the controller. We can all stay in and playing, because I usually 90% of the time when I play Smash Brothers, I play with people locally because online lag on the Smash Brothers servers have always been kind of iffy, alright guys? Even for the 3DS game, which is kind of a big disappointment for me personally. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to save the most interesting news, I think, for last, which is kind of crazy just for me, guys. But here's some news before that one. It is Last of Us gets a Game of the Year edition in Europe for the PlayStation 3. So even though we have Last of Us remastered for the PlayStation 4, for those of us in Europe that actually want to still play Last of Us, hasn't got the chance and want to play all that awesome DLC that came out with the game, it is getting a Game of the Year edition in Europe next month, guys. That is in November. I think this is more than okay coming out. I understand that some people don't want to upgrade to the PlayStation 4, and the PlayStation 3 is getting cheaper and cheaper, and there's a lot of bundles out there. So if you're one of those people who are just moving on up to the PlayStation 3 in Europe, I suggest you guys pick up this Last of Us edition for $39.99 over there. Alright guys? So definitely worth it. The Last of Us, one of the best games that's come out in recent memory. And the last and the most interesting story of the week, I personally think that happened 2 days ago, was that Rockstar Games announced that they're going to make a Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, basically remastered, put better graphics for the Xbox 360. This is going to be a downloadable game for games on demand, basically on Xbox 360. I'm surprised it's not coming out to any other platform like the PlayStation 3, or I was really surprised that it's not coming out to next gen or Xbox One. This is only coming out for Xbox 360 specifically. It's definitely going to sell. It's a Grand Theft Auto game. People are going to buy it. It's just the way it works already, guys. And it makes sense. It's coming out October 26th. That's basically literally in 1 day. It's tomorrow, which is an interesting day because the release date says October 26th, but most games don't really come out on a Sunday. But we'll see if it shows up on the store, yes or not. But what I find so interesting about this is, was this a deal between Microsoft and Rockstar? Did Microsoft go to Rockstar and said, hey bro, we want to put a game? I don't know. This just seems really interesting that this is not coming out to any other platforms. I definitely would have been interested in playing this game again if it was going to come out to the Xbox One or the PS4 remastered, looking better, because San Andreas is one of my favorite, Grand Theft Auto game. Personally, my favorite story-wise, it just has to be Vice City, just because I remember that so fondly. But that could have been nostalgia. I don't know if it is or isn't, but I do remember Vice City quite nostalgic, and I kind of love that game. But anyways, guys, it's Beaky here with the UntitledGameShow.com with, well, your gaming news for you guys for the past week. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's a lot longer than my 1 minute gaming series that I do one Monday through Friday. And I hope you guys want to see more. Let me know in the comment section below. Till then, peace out, guys.